The Spiral and the Square, an original story by Marie Birdsong. Sacred geometry. In the world of geometry, there are two shapes that are held sacred, the sphere and the cube. These lay the foundation for sacred geometry. Sacred geometry is an ancient art and science which reveals the nature of man and his relationship to the cosmos. Nature has patterns to be found, designs, and also constructs, from the minuscule particles to forms of life indiscernible to the human eye. Throughout the greater cosmos, these expressions follow an individual vibrational resonance. These are symbolic of underlying metaphysical principles of the part of the whole. The principle of oneness underlies all geometry that runs through the architectural construct of all form and myriad diversity. Principles of interconnectedness, inseparability, and union provide a continuous reminder of man's relationship to the whole, as well as a blueprint for the mind to the sacred foundations of all creation. The Spiral and the Square, a creation myth in fable form. This story is about a spiral and a square, derivatives of such sacred geometrical proportions, their relationship to one another, and the true nature of both. This is also the story of the true love and the joyful union which ensued, that created not only reality as we perceive it, but shaped the very concept of existence itself. It is, in essence, a written record of a creation myth that has remained unspoken by the primitive heart of the human race since time's first beginning. Once, very, very long ago, there was a beautiful, graceful spiral making her way through the fullness of infinity, as was her nature, for infinity is where such things originate. This infinity having no beginning, no end, being everlasting, going on and on without interruption, forever and always. In her constant travels, she had been to a multitude of places and seen many strange and varied things. Whirling masses of cosmic elements of creation, stars, asteroids, comets, the occasional black hole, and as a matter of course, the perceived passage of time throughout the burgeoning concept we now know to be our perceived and mutually shared reality. At a particular space and time, she came across a most rare and captivating sight, a straight, strong, noble shape, an unique pleasure to view, and a delight to the soul. It was the square. So intensely attractive was this four-sided vision, it took the momentum out of the spiral's journey, and all that she could do was gaze upon this overwhelmingly masculine sight in awe and amazement. He aroused feelings within her that were new and exciting, and what's more, it became a very need to her to explore this amazingly fresh possibility. The attraction was for her immediate and intense. It also appeared the same could be said for him. He returned her gaze with the intensity that shook the center of infantile beginnings of this conceptual reality itself. This shared, powerful synergy created its own momentum. All at once, they joined with magnetic attraction. The electron and proton began to connect while simultaneously bursting in a great fever of emotional expression as it never before been seen. Thereby began the creation of mathematical geometry itself. Every shape found in nature was spontaneously created by this first act of the sacred feminine and masculine joining in blissful union. Within this perpetual ignition began the formation of the circular shape of the rocks on the ground to the most intricate crystalline of each individual snowflake, the linear form of a river to the round, folded shape of the petals of a rose. Every possible combination of earthly element in visual perception. This pure musical harmony of the union was as if the first notes in a cosmic sonata, and much, much more. Thunderously, the first sounds of creation were written spontaneously by the melody of this first attraction, as if a pounding, rhythmical beat of a cosmic rock opera violently thrusting itself into existence. The twisted double helix of the DNA molecule, the spherical diameters of the atom, to shattered proportions of subatomic particles. Throughout this unfathomed space, planets spontaneously burst into creation. There was molten magma cooling to form the surface of a fertile land, under which came layer after layer of precious and semi-precious metals. There were also marble, granite, and deep firm bedrock necessary to the building and development of burgeoning societies. All corporeal entities suddenly thrust into existence with this very effort. This tremendous cosmic event seemed as infinite as space itself, yet at the same moment as quick as a quark. In this infinite instant, it was all over. Surprised by the momentum caused by the cessation of the action, they looked at each other and realized their spontaneous attraction had pushed them far across the galaxy to vastly separated positions. Together they had created a new and beautiful reality, and yet they had grown apart and knew that their association was coming to an end. And still, perhaps, just a bit more, although it is the juxtaposition of opposites that sets these parameters. They had become geometrically opposed, though somehow there was an unspoken thought that in the fullness of time they would meet again, for then the natural laws of physics set in. The attraction of opposites, i.e., plus to minus, minus to plus, up to down, or yin to yang. The moral to this story? Though joining may be pleasurable, prolific, and immeasurable, the ending is rarely ever in sight, and may come upon you as a thief in the night. Or, geometry creates, physics dictates, but geology rocks.